Hello, I am Jenny Beach, and this is my data protocol sheet. And I chose to do it as an infograph. I think visualizations are really important when people come to look at data sets and different things of value. I feel like handing out a assignment and a piece of paper, having them fill it out, and it not being visually interesting kind of is demeaning to educators as a whole. So I did mine as a visual chart, focusing on the protocol to help guide us through the data analysis process. I, throughout this class, have realized that I don't really think in my school we use data to the fullness of its ability. We don't really look at the information that data provides because I'm not really sure the vast quantity of educators in my building know really what to look for or really how to analyze it as a whole versus looking at their own individual sects. So looking at this informational graph that I have right here, and I wrote data should be reviewed without personal bias because I feel like people automatically are defensive when they see low grade scores. Oh, they hate me. I'm not doing a good job. Well, you might be doing a really good job in one area and that isn't connecting in another area. So we should try to remove personal bias. And analysis is to make us help to help make us to help analysis is to help us make better informed decisions. So number one, what is going to get your attention? Using a piece of paper, take notes, look at the data individually, silently. What do you notice? What patterns emerge? What's surprising? I think looking at it by yourself versus as a group is a really good way to connect with it personally. And you might find something that somebody else doesn't see, or that you are aware of. Oh, that was looking at the numbers here. I made this amazing personal connection and told this fantastic story. So this happened, and they really got the understanding of the concept versus I was really sick that month. I just wasn't feeling it, blah, 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 blah. And could maybe get a little bit of better understanding about what happened. So basic, silent, what got your attention? And then discussing it with the group. And then the second one, what does it tell us? So as a group, having a discussion about what is it telling you? What was the learning target we were supposed to be hitting? Did we hit it? Did we miss it? What are possible explanations of the data? What does it say? Again, removing your personal bias from it. What successes are there? What impact on learning? And everything needs to be supported with evidence versus, well, I think this is stupid. It's totally invalid. You need to have evidence that supports your claim. On graph 36, it shows that these students with ELL issues are really having trouble understanding this math concept. So therefore, we need to work on our ELL or work on, yada, yada. So using evidence is key to what is the data telling us, not what you're feeling, but what is the evidence. Key conclusions, number 3. I like this to be a lot more short and sweet, simple process. So what recommendations can be made from the data that we just looked at? What about class placements can be made? What about instructional practices can be made? What about reteaching can be made? What about, okay, they nailed this. Why are we focusing 2 months of our time on this one concept when they already know it? Let's move on. Let's shorten our focus here and extend it over here. Discuss what the data implies about the classroom practices. Is it the same for everybody? Maybe somebody has more stories in their instruction and the other person is sit and get. So, it might be a discussion based versus reading out of a book. What is working? Beg, borrow, and steal. What's working? So I think one of the things that I put in here that is really important is what is the first step to increasing student success? For me, I feel like the first step is always the hardest. Once we nail down a first step, kind of the action plan afterwards makes a little bit more sense. But what do we need to do? What is the number one thing we need to do? So here are what are the key conclusions. It is really what is the first step that can be made and kind of action plan and calendar items after that to better improvement. And is there any other data? What else can we look at to better inform our decision before we throw the curriculum out the door? what else can we look at? What else is beneficial to us? Down here, I did a little bit of personal analysis. So I believe SWOT analysis are really beneficial for helping with action plans. So focusing on individuals' strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats can really help people take an introspective look on what they do well and what they have the opportunity to do well while being realistic with the brutal facts. Okay, this is a weakness of mine. And then what outlining threats are there that impede my ability to present a quality information for the students. Next, personal reflection. When looking at the data, what surprises? So this is more personal for each individual. Did the students correctly answer some of the easy ones, but it got confused in the more difficult questions? What subjects may students have mastered, and what objectives did they not master? What did they miss, and how can you fix it? So that is a page or two of the data protocol I would present to my school. Thank you.